Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the My Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we are here to talk about board games.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not all the times.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Zach, you're back with us.
Yes.
Your audio sounds much better.
Now people can actually hear me.
That's the goal.
How was your trip?
It was fine. I went to the coast, bought beef jerky, ate said beef jerky.
Brought me some of said beef jerky.
Yes, I did.
It was really good.
Yeah.
You bought beef jerky on the coast?
Well, it's Tillamook.
Oh,
It's on the way
okay.
to it,
Yeah,
so.
I know that. Cheese is good there.
Yeah. It's called Tillamook County Smoker,
Uh-huh.
and it's really good.
That's good.
And they have a factory outlet there where it's like you can buy.
All the weird shaped pieces.
No, just like, it's like
This miscut jerky.
like 10 ounces for $10 and shit like that. Really
That's
cheap.
nice.
Yeah. Basically like a dollar an ounce, which for beef jerky,
It's pretty good.
especially if it's really good.
Is there such thing as a not miscut piece of jerky? I don't think I've seen just like a regular shape of jerky ever.
No.
What's a regular shape of jerky?
Exactly.
The stuff you let me choose and I grabbed, I didn't realize what it was when I was grabbing it, but after the fact, I was really glad that was the one I grabbed. I grabbed apparently the steak cut.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like something about, I don't know what I thought they were, but somehow I didn't see steak cut. I saw something like some kind of flavoring, like steak.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like steak flavored or something,
Gotcha.
like more of just a more general meat flavor than like teriyaki or something like that. But they were really big, thick cuts of jerky that were real tender, and it was real good.
Yep.
I enjoyed it.
Sounds delicious.
And then I also bought a 10 ounces of the original and then 10 ounces of teriyaki. Promptly ate it all.
Yeah, I was like, how long did that beef jerky last?
Oh, not even a couple days.
Yeah. We went through a solid amount here
Mhm.
because you left your car here while you were gone, and so you got a ride back from the airport from Shion, who I hadn't
Yes.
seen in I don't know months, and two of you hung out here for a little bit and we played some board games.
Yeah. Oh, God. What did we play?
We played the Vladishvatel spaceship game.
Oh, yes. Galaxy Truckers.
That's the one.
Did you truck anything in the galaxy? Or
Yeah.
did you just get blown up?
One round he got real bad
Yeah.
blown up because
Well-
he fucked up building it.
I got super cocky in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That first round, I had perfect ship, no destruction on it at all, and no open vents or anything like that. No open connections. Second time, I realized I misplaced something, and that one was the sole connector to like 5 other things.
Oh.
So they I finished it, and then they watched me go, "Oh fuck," and then drag like a quarter of my ship off the board.
Oh. Just
Yeah.
like, brrr. Well, there goes that.
And then the open connectors that left behind took many an asteroid.
And not just that too. Like one of the first cards were the space pirates that systematically destroyed every gun I had. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was great. They went around. They shot like 2 from the front, like 2 from each side, and then one really big one from the back. And so like they killed like every gun Zach had.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then here comes the big one from behind.
Yeah.
Like,
I
really.
A third of my
Bring it home.
guns were destroyed from liftoff because that's the part I fucked up. And then they destroyed all my other guns and then shot me at the ass.
So you may have been melted slowly by a space laser, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You finished. You didn't. You made it all the way to the end of the
I lost.
mission. Oh yeah, you lost the game.
Yeah.
But
Made it to the end
I did.
as a loser.
Yeah.
yeah.
At
There was
least you weren't dead.
There was another one in the third round, I think it was. Shion had something go wrong with her engines, and like the last 3 cards were all like open space where you just cruise ahead based on your engine power, and she just kept falling further and further and further behind.
The first one, she didn't like all her engines were had to be powered by energy. It was all the
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was just like we're like, well, we hope you don't see many of those open spaces because she only had like 3 energy things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it was good times.
Yeah. I want to play that again.
As is
my
Galaxy
anniversary edition.
Yeah, it's actually a really fun game. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's silly enough that I don't take it too seriously when a bad die roll ends up with a good chunk of my ship being ravaged.
Yeah.
Just par for the course. So
Good times.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went snowboarding again.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I turned
Holy crap.
left and right and left and right and then fall down.
Yeah. How many times did you turn right into the snow?
Turn right into the snow.
You just
You mean fall?
I mean, you're turning into the ground. Yes,
Many times I turned.
You're doing great on those turns. You got to learn the other turns though.
the slams into the ground
Yep.
turn. Yeah, it's where I lodge my ass into a mountain. That's
Mhm.
those are fun. I went down School Marm, which is like a legit run,
Yep.
and I went all the way. Ant was telling me when to turn the whole time. He was keeping up with me. Well, not that.
He was keeping up with you.
Not
Wow.
that was a problem.
Are you sure you weren't pushing him to the limit?
Every once in a while, I'd go faster, and I'd just see him fucking fly right by me to catch up, like because he was kind of trailing around. And he would. So I was keeping my hand out to like keep my head straight from where I should be looking, because every time my head moved where I shouldn't be going, I would lose balance and eat shit. Like Ant had said something, and I went to look at him and just immediately fell, like because I wasn't keeping balance. He's like, "Yeah, you looked at me and your shoulder shifted, and then you were on the ground." That's basically what happened. It's a lot of balancing.
Yeah,
and I guess there's like a halfway point gondola that you can go back up or whatever. And he was thinking maybe we should stop there. But we just ended up going, and then like almost immediately after that, I was so exhausted that I just kept falling over and over again. But I made it all the way down.
nice.
Yeah, I almost made it to the actual like, hey, this is where you slow and stop. I made it about 15 feet before that, and
And then
fell
he just
over.
stopped.
And then it was so flat that I couldn't go anymore, and I just unstrapped and walked in at the end there.
I'm surprised you didn't like crawl the last.
Just for the board dragging behind me. You can hop.
Ah,
At some point, I got to a flat part, and I kind of do the little bounce thing, and then Ant just kind of went behind me and just sort of bounced the edge of his board and pushed me with the edge of his board.
flat areas like that, like cat tracks and stuff, is why I am a firm believer that every snowboard group needs to have like one or two skier friends. That way, when you get stuck on those flat areas, the skiers can like hang one pole behind and like tow your
drag.
snowboarding ass across the cat track. Like, come on, guys, give me a lift.
Yeah, but apparently I turned very well so far.
Yeah, I heard that Ant and our friend Trevor Davis from the condo think that you and Paul should have a race down School
God.
Marm.
And then Paul's gonna get competitive. Shocker. And
Paul
then
competitive? No.
if this wasn't like I did like 3 of like this little scout runs at the top. If this wasn't like the 4th run I had done for the day, I probably wouldn't have been as exhausted. But
It's also a long run. It's like a 3.1 mile run.
I think
School
Ant
Marm
said
is ridiculously long.
2.5 miles, I think
Yeah.
is what Ant said.
It's a ridiculously long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you fall over and over.
Yes. I've had fun on School Marm though. You can usually find some good kickers and stuff just off to the side in the trees and do jumps.
I was just happy to be able to turn and go down the hill.
Yeah.
I had a bump once and then fell.
Hopefully I'll get to actually ride with you one of these days.
I guess.
Maybe. If I ever get a ride again.
Ever. Not a sore though. Not crazy sore. I kind of hurt my wrist. My right shoulder kind of sucks, but my knees survived
That's good.
to walk another day.
Right on. Well, have you played any board games?
I played this last Sunday. It was the day after I got back from snowboarding. I played Imperial Assault, except it was the app, which has like Legacy of something, Legends of the loading, title screen, now a loading bar, Legends of the Alliance. It adds a campaign into the game. If you've played Mansions of Madness 2nd edition at all, it's pretty similar to that, where it's not going to be tracking exactly where your players are on the board, but will kind of tell you what spawns in, where it spawns in, and like items and crates and stuff on the board. And then it'll give programming lists of what each of the enemies will do. Like stormtroopers will first try and shoot like maybe a specific character, and then you have to know the rule is like, well, if they can't shoot that specific character or the character with the most observation or whatever the hell it is, they'll kind of shoot the closest character. We use that to our advantage when in the intro scenario some rebel troopers kind of ran out a couple times, and we were like, we're going to go ahead and put that rebel trooper right in front of that E-Web blaster, basically the Star Wars equivalent of a machine gun. and it was like, oh, I can't shoot this thing, so I guess I'm going to shoot that rebel trooper that's one space away from me. We were real happy when that happened because E-Web blasters will fuck you up.
Yeah, they're legit.
It's fun. We played with it was 3 of us, Ant, his girlfriend Julie, and myself, and then we had like the 4th character be the general that can kind of do their. He has like an action where he can use both of his actions to just give someone else an action.
Okay.
The scenario is pretty cool. The first one, it's just kind of survive. It's like Yavin 4. The Imperials are invading, trying to get all the transport ships off of Yavin, and you just have to like it's basically wave defense. It's like, hey, just hold out until you can. And then Darth Vader shows up,
Nice.
and we were kind of holding out in the front. Kind of where we started and kind of where they were spawning in because we had like a Wookiee that could like cleave the stormtroopers and would just be like, you're all fucking dead, like every time. And then Darth Vader spawned right in front of us. And his first AI is move as close to as many multiple rebel figures as possible and then attack all of them.
Oh, Jesus.
And as he comes in, it specifically states, you cannot defeat Darth Vader. So our next actions after we almost died was to use both of our actions to run away into the base. Valiantly, a rebel trooper was the next closest thing that Darth Vader could maul, and Darth Vader immediately ran at that rebel trooper. I think he had like 7 damage. Rebel troopers get to use the white die, which there is one that is complete evasion of all damage, which he successfully rolled.
Nice.
And then downside is Darth Vader's next one is force choke and just does damage, which he immediately choked the life out of said rebel trooper, and the rebel trooper died.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
he
swung.
he swung. Miss it. You dodged that, you son of a bitch.
Crush. Yeah. Crush. Like, Kids in the Hall where he kind of puts his fingers up to, and he's like, crush your head. Crush. That's what he did. Crush.
But actually did it.
Yeah, and then his head popped like it's it.
Oh, jeez.
We ended up winning by the skin of our teeth. 3 of us were wounded. One of us, me, was the only one not wounded. We would lose if everyone was wounded. You could have people even die, and it was okay. It's just if everyone kind of flips over their board from taking too much damage once, it's over. I was the only one holding out. So we did succeed that. We didn't play anything after that due to us having to go see that new Star Wars movie that came out.
Yeah.
Then, but the app is really nice. Like it has like a galaxy map that you can choose your next mission, and there's upgrades and a bunch of other really cool stuff in there. Nice. I'm excited to give it another shot because that app is pretty cool.
Now, had you played Imperial Assault at all before?
I had. I like this way more than the Overlord.
Nice. I got to get my minis. Bob has almost all of my Imperial minis because he was painting them for me. And I've got to get them back so that I can play my copy with the app.
Yeah, I do have to say, get the app and actually go through the app's rulebook. It takes you to a PDF on there, and scroll like towards the bottom where it gives you the new rules for like the programming and stuff like that, because that was the hardest part to learn. Like move X to reposition Y. The programming things in there will have like multiple of those, and it's like, which ones do you use? And like move X to attack so-and-so. And yeah, like go through that. Even if you've played Imperial Assault, go through the rule book and read the activation instructions for the app, because it will make things much clearer. It does have a nice tutorial in there that will kind of hold your hand through the system as well. But if you don't think you need to spend, an hour and a half doing a tutorial on the app, make sure you read that rule book.
Right on.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
Quick aside, we'll keep it spoiler free. But if you don't even want to hear whether or not we liked Star Wars, because we did all 3 go and see it. If you want no spoilers at all,
I don't want to even hear the spoilers of opinions.
Then hit skip forward 30 seconds when I say, and we'll withhold our quick little whether we liked it or not to 30-second window. So when I say skip, hit go ahead 30 seconds, and then we'll all be able to go. So in 3, 2, 1, skip. Holy shit, that was a really good movie. I loved the new Star Wars. I thought it was fantastic.
I did too. I'm right now I'm trying to decide if it's my second or third favorite.
I did not like it as much. Maybe I'll see it again and see if I like it. But right now, I'm
And I know there's a lot of people that fucking hated it.
Oh yeah,
I don't hate it.
My
No.
brother
I don't
and
hate
I
it.
have been like fighting for like 3 days about it. It's gotten a little out of control. I've seen it twice though, and I thought it got better after my second view. But all right, that's our 30-second review of
Review, not even. That's our
review.
30-second opinions.
Yeah, our 30-second quick little opinion of The Last Jedi. So,
with 0 spoilers.
with 0 spoilers, amazingly enough. Anyway, back to board games. Zach, what have you been playing?
So probably got a chance to try out Azul, the tile game about actually making tiles.
Putting a mosaic
Yeah.
tiles on a wall.
Yeah. That was pretty good. I like how you well, it's because you have like these 7, I don't know what they call them. There's a theme thing there, but theme doesn't matter. Like the factories or whatever.
Workshops, where the tiles are being manufactured.
You just grab one of, like, there's 4 tiles on there, and you just grab one of one color.
All of them.
All of the one, yeah, that's what I mean. You grab one color, all the ones that relate to that, and then the other ones go into the center. And on here, you place on your player board that has like it has 5 different rows on them that relate to how many tiles it needs to complete it. Like the first row just takes 1 tile, whereas the bottom one takes 5 tiles.
Yeah,
and you just keep going around until all the tiles are taken. And I'm a big fan of that because you can force people to take so many more tiles than they actually need. Because if all that's left is 8 black tiles, then they're like, oh, damn it! The biggest spot I can put it is the one with 4, and so any excess tiles go to your negative point thing at the bottom.
Yeah, and it's important to point out, like, you can't split those up. Like, so if you got 8 black tiles, you couldn't put like 4 in one row and 3 in the other row, even if you have the space, because they all have to go in one row, and then any that don't fit in that row fall down to the bottom into those negative point spaces that add up in a hurry.
Yes, they do. And then, I mean, the game only goes 5-6 rounds, usually 5, because it's just once somebody completes one row, it's over, and it's easy to complete that first row because it's just one of each.
Yeah, so place 1 tile in it each round for 5 rounds, and you've won the game.
Well,
sorry, you've ended the game. You've hit the end condition.
I don't know if you won that game.
Yeah, just one, and that's it. You're like, I got my
perfect
5-7 points.
That would be really hard to only play into that one because you have to take tiles on your turn. You can't not. So you'd have to really fuck things up.
2 points because you just keep going negative, and it doesn't look like there's a negative amount on in your thing.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so you hit 0 and you're stuck there until end game scoring when you get 2 points.
Yeah. I like that. I don't think it was an amazing game, but it was fun. I would play it again. So, and it didn't take too long, like 30 minutes, 45.
30 to 45.
Yeah.
I really like Azul. I think it, especially for that time frame, it has the right amount of like kind of like in-depth thinking of like what do I want to take and when, and like kind of strategic planning and stuff. But it also has, like you said, that ability where you can really set somebody else up for failure and just kind of screw them if they're not paying attention or if they leave themselves open.
Right.
And I really like having that in a game. I like being able to kind of poke at somebody.
It bothers me that 3 of the tiles have patterns on them and 2 don't. And so they look like they're just missing the blue and red ones. Just for me, at least, I feel like they got like misprinted or something because there's nothing on them, whereas the other ones actually have a pattern to it.
Yeah, I feel like it is definitely something to do with that particular art style that they have just some solid blue and red ones mixed in with the other ones, like because it's based off an actual mosaic art style.
Yeah.
So, but I can see what you're saying. The pieces look like candies. They look like Starburst.
Yes, they do.
Especially the blue and red ones with no ornamentation on them at all.
Delicious.
And then the first player token. Jeff, what do you think the first player token is in this game full of tiles?
I bet it's a just random tiny piece of cardboard
that you may mistakenly think that it's just a number
or a proof of purchase.
Yes, and then you throw it into the recycling. Yeah, a lot of other people felt the same thing.
Weird.
Yeah. What was great is that I asked Paul about it because it's his copy, because I'd heard a bunch of people did that, and he was like,
what first player token?
Yeah, he's like, what first player? He's like, he was weird, it didn't come out. And I'm like, no, it did. And he's like, wait, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, it's something you punch out. And like, there's nothing to punch out. And like, yeah, what about those circle things? And there's just like, you got a text later that it was just saying, "Yep, I pulled that out of the recycling."
Send us a picture of there it is.
Yep.
Right out of the recycling.
This is funny.
Yes. Oh, Paul.
Does it need a first player token?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because the first player token always starts in the center, and so the first person to take tiles from the center takes the first player token, but it falls down into that negative point area. So
you
whoever's
get negative points for going first.
Yeah, and you get to be the first player next time. So the added benefit of getting first choice comes at that cost of 1 point
Gotcha.
each round. So
And then I also got my copy of Dinosaur Island.
yeah,
I got the deluxe edition.
That game has some good ass components.
It has like
Wow.
90% great components, and then
90% amazing components.
Yes.
Okay.
So what did it? Okay, so the metal coins that they came with,
Best metal coins I think I've ever seen.
they are my favorite metal coins.
Ever?
no,
Uh-huh.
I
Yep.
don't think so.
Over what?
I mean, I definitely like the Lisboa.
Oh
one
God, nope. Okay, never mind.
better.
All right.
I
Jeff,
like
nope,
Yeah,
the
let's just
Seafall.
right here,
I
right
like
here.
the Seafall ones better.
No.
I
Oh,
like,
ow, ouch. This is
yeah.
Can we unplug his can you
Okay,
unplug
yeah.
his mic?
Yep.
I, like Jesus.
the Seafall metal coins are good.
Yeah, I like.
I don't know, am I
They're-
crazy?
Yes,
we haven't played
yes.
Seafall in like 8 months, but I remember them being really good.
They were good, but I think these are there's 3 pounds of coins.
Yeah.
Adrian.
They're dense.
Yes.
They are heavy coins.
And like individually printed like dinosaur skulls on the back of the denominations.
Yes.
Like a sort of lacquer color on the other side.
that I actively dislike. I dislike the bright color on the metal coins.
But
It's like Disney bucks.
Yeah, I get why they did it and it fits the theme and everything, but that was always something I disliked about the game was the garish pink and blues of the
I was a fan of it.
It's got style.
Yeah.
yeah, that terrible, atrocious 90s style.
Yeah.
Nobody looks back at the generation of the 1990s.
I'm just gonna
as
say
like the
you
epitome of
like
style.
that blue, and then I
Blue
like,
on blue.
Yeah, the blue on blue that Lisboa has, and I like this.
Yeah,
and
like,
I'm.
the classical, ancient. Well, not ancient, but the classical like
You mean
art
the
and architecture
the
from
toner
Lisboa?
misprint?
Whatever.
So best ever metal coins.
Yeah.
Yes. Continue.
Yes. It has the best first player marker.
Yeah, the first player marker.
It is a slap bracelet, and it slaps on your wrist. It's
Mhm.
great. And it has a lot of cardboard. It takes up a lot of space.
Oh god, yeah.
So it has
Each player has 2 full player boards.
yes, and then there's also 3 boards that go into the center, and then there's also cards and stuff off to the side.
Yeah, it's a table hog for sure. Like the
Yeah.
2-player game that we played took up a solid amount of I feel like we could have played 3 players on my table.
Yeah,
4 we'd need to pull out that in the center
Yes,
like
for his
extension.
table in the kitchen.
The leaf.
Yeah, I really did enjoy playing it.
Yeah,
It's,
I liked it a lot too.
So it's a worker placement, but you're getting DNA and stuff to create dinosaurs, and there's 5 different phases to the game, and they're all like sort of involved. But once you actually get into like the first one is you're doing the scientist phase where you're getting DNA and you're increasing your cold storage because you can only hold so much DNA unless you put in more. You're also getting more dinosaur recipes, and then the second stage.
That's how you make dinosaurs.
Yeah. The second stage is when you're buying new attractions, you're just buying DNA, you're buying specialists to help you, or you're upgrading your lab equipment. And then the third one is you have your own worker placement board that everyone's doing simultaneously where you're
More
like,
of an action selection.
Yes, yeah.
I think.
well,
Like
yeah.
the first phase, I definitely call worker placement because
Well-
it's actively blocking the other players.
Well,
and
yes.
everything.
No, yeah. I just mean worker, like literally you're just placing your workers down to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you're not blocking anybody because it's all on your own board. But it's like that's when you're actually making the dinosaurs, you're upgrading your security, you're increasing your paddock capacity so you can hold more dinosaurs, you're
Mhm.
getting more money and stuff like that.
Meeting with venture capitalists.
Yes. And then the last one, the last phase is you're just making sure, or you have all your visitors come to your park, and then you assign them to any spaces where they can actually fit. But how you get the visitors is you draw from a bag, because a lot of people want to pay, but there are some people, hooligans, that don't. They just want to sneak into your park.
Uh-huh.
So they're a different color that if you grab one of them, they basically go into your park for free, and you don't get the money for them because all the other patrons, you get money for them visiting, even if they're stuck in the entrance,
Yeah.
Okay.
which sucks for them. But
Because your park's filled with hooligans.
yes, but then after After that, then you check to see if you actually have the security to handle the threat of the dinosaurs. Because every time you
Oh shit, we've got to put up fences.
yeah. I definitely like one thing I really like is that those the dice at the beginning of the round where you're getting the DNA. For one, every dice is unique, so it has a unique sides.
Oh, okay.
But then at the end of that phase, whichever dice has the most amount of pips on it, and they vary from 0 to 3. You basically take it off to the side and you check the threat for this round is whatever your normal threat is plus that additional threat from those pips.
Because your park has a specific threat based on what dinosaurs you've made, and then each round you'll have a variation of 0 to 3 pips additional, like 0 to 3 threat additional added on.
Okay.
So you might like be totally good for your park, and then for one round where you had 0 additional threat, and then the next round you build a dinosaur that adds 2 threat, and then now
it's 3 pips
threat,
on there.
So now you've got to raise your defense 5, and defense gets like your security. Gets like progressively more and more expensive. So it's like, oh fuck, like money was constantly tight in the game.
Yes,
like,
it was.
It was cool.
And then if your security didn't meet the threat, your people started getting eaten, and you took a victory point hit because it's not good press when you have people get eaten.
No,
but and then he just kept doing that until you had these different objectives that would come out, and like that you'd start out with, and once people have claimed all of them, then that's the end of the round, or that round is the end of the game.
Yeah, and they function kind of similar to like the milestones in Food Chain, in that whatever round somebody first claims one, everybody else can still claim it that round, but then afterwards that one you can't claim it anymore. And then, like Zach said, once all 3 of them have been claimed by someone, the game ends.
Yeah. And then one other really interesting thing I think this has is they're called plot twists. You basically get 2 at the start of your game, and they just change how things function. So, like the beginning one that we started out with was there are no hooligans in the bag to start out with, but then at the end of the first round, you get 5 hooligans in there, and then the second round you get 5 more.
Okay.
So it helps to where it helps that first 1 to 2 rounds you really don't have much of a chance of getting any hooligans, and then the second one on you have a better chance, unless you're me, in which case you had 100% no picking hooligans rate. And it was great because I had to pick 11. Grabbed nothing, and then Adrian grabbed a handful of 5, and 3 of them were
and he picked first both times, so it was like he picked out a whole bunch of good ones. It's like, great, my odds just got worse.
Yep.
Like, fuck you.
Well, you should draw out of that blind bag better then.
Yep.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, so what it is that whoever is in last place gets to go first the next round, and then it goes up from there.
Yeah, Zach was never ever in the lead in the entire game.
Now he ended up winning by 3 or 4 points.
Yeah,
but I sort of fucked myself in the beginning because I was like, oh, I can do these things, and then I realized that I was 1 money short to raise my security level. And dinosaurs ate my people, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, dinosaurs ate your people on I think 2 different occasions.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, nobody got eaten in my park. I ran a tight ship
of hooligans.
Yeah, I was just saying my park's more exciting because people got eaten.
Which shockingly, having people get eaten,
it's thrilling.
Not only doesn't affect your excitement level, which is how many people you draw out of the bag. So it's not like people aren't less excited to come to the park where people are getting eaten.
We got good PR.
Yeah, clearly.
Yep.
But no, yeah. I liked this a lot. There were definitely a lot of tense moments of trying to figure out how to get that threat to increase so you could actually build the dinosaurs you want while having like so few amount of so little money and having to like worry about refining DNA and all that stuff. It was pretty like there isn't really much interaction in this game.
No.
But like I was worried so much about the shit that I was doing that it didn't really bother me. And then also, I'm pretty sure if this was about like researching different types of like wheat or something like that, I would have no interest in this game. That because it's the theme, because of what the theme is, it draws me in so much that I'm able to enjoy it when I might not do that. Yeah, with a different theme.
To the point that he got very upset that I took the Utah Raptor from him because
I was super pissed.
He just really wanted to have the Utah Raptor for himself.
Yes.
What's the name of that food pun store in the game?
There's a bunch of them.
Okay.
The best one is Clever Grill. There's also Rex-Mex.
Rex-Mex. That's the one I was thinking of.
Jurassic Pork.
it is just a shit ton of direct Jurassic Park level puns too.
Well, that's what Dinosaur Island basically is.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so when we were saying like the components were like 90% great, basically it just felt like their production, like there was a disconnect between the production company and them, because there were a lot of little things that you're like, why is this like this? Like the under construction thing, it has like a sort of divot on this, like a corner was cut off, but on where you place them on the map, the wrong corner's cut off.
It drove me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they had like color changes, but that was because of the production company, and that messed up the deluxe edition because the people took it wrong. It just seemed like there was some sort of problem with that.
It was similar to kind of like what we talked about with like Gallerist and things, like some of these games that have like, when you have such really good components, it makes really minor flaws like super stand out. And that's kind of how this was.
Also, the dinosaur meeples that are bipedal do not stand on their feet. They rest on their tails.
Yeah.
They're lazy. They like to sit.
Like the T-Rex at least like looks good because it looks like it's like standing up roaring, so to speak.
Yeah.
But like the Spinosaurus is just like, oh god, like he skipped leg day all the time. But yeah, I overall I did enjoy the game a lot, and I want to play it with more people.
Yeah, me too.
And with more of those plot twists.
Yeah.
And it has different versions for short game, long game, and medium game. So
okay.
Yep. So yeah, I played that. I played Galaxy Truckers. I played all the games we're going to be reviewing. I also went up to visit Edward and Amanda to play games with them. Only I got my days mixed up for what Saturdays they were having a game day, and Edward was doing a live stream and Amanda was working on some other stuff. So I ended up playing just 2 rounds of a 2-player game, or 2 different. I played the same game, 2 players twice with their roommate Matt. It was called Heaven and Ale, and basically in this game you're brewing beer. And the way the game works is you have around the outside of the like main center board a big track where there's different ingredients with different numbers, monks and things like that, and you're moving along. You can move on your turn anywhere in front of you along that track, and then wherever you stop you have to do the action there, whether it's buying an ingredient tile, buying a monk, placing a like scoring token thing. They're kind of weird. But the thing there is like if you can jump way ahead to get something good, but then you leave a lot of things behind you that your opponents can follow along and pick off. And basically you go around the board. When you get back to the starting spot, your turn's like then you're hard pass for the remainder till everybody's back to the starting spot. Then you kind of reset the board and then everybody plays again. And you, depending on how many people you're playing with, you go 3 to 6 times around the board. In a 2-player game, it's just 3 times around the board for each of us. And while you're doing this, as you go around the board, the ingredient tiles that you're picking up, there's water, yeast, grain, and hops. And you're placing these on your personal player board, kind of building up your little village. And it's got random little spots around it where as you surround them, you get to place a token on it based on the value of the tiles around it. So like if you buy a water tile that's worth value 4, you place it down, and then if you surround one of those open spots with all 6 of the tiles are all value 4, then 6 times 4 is 24. So you get to pull a level 24 hut thing, which lets you then activate those tiles, which can get you either money to buy more tiles or ingredients, which will advance all your trackers along the brewing track. And so then after everybody's gone all the way around the right number of turns and convert all your resources, depending on, you've got a little brewer guy who moves along with your resources, and that'll tell you what conversion rate you end up with. Like the very basic conversion rate is like 5 to 1, but you can get it all the way up to 1 to 1. So then you convert whatever ingredients you have the most of to get more of the ones you have the least of, until you get it down to you can't convert any more back and forth. That'll tell you how much beer you make, and then based on that you'll figure out how much points you scored, because you can get like 1 to 5 I think per beer, and then there's some end game scoring things that you can do. And yeah, that is a terrible explanation of this game, because
this game looks weighty.
it is definitely a little bit of a heavier game.
There's lots of pieces.
Yeah, but it's one like we finished our second game of it because like the first game he was teaching me, and that one took us probably, I don't know, an hour, maybe an hour and a half. The second game took us like 30 to 45 minutes for a 2-player game. It's a game that once everybody kind of knows what they are doing, goes really quick and can just kind of fly by. Like it's hard to explain, especially like in a visual or in a verbal way, over the podcast. Whereas like if I was sitting down and had the board and could actually like point to the things I'm talking about, it would make a lot more sense.
Yes.
But the point is I really enjoyed it, and it was another cool game about brewing beer, which I'm always a fan of games about brewing beer because I like brewing beer.
Especially Monk Belgian beer.
Yes. So that's what I played. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I want to play it with more people and see how
long
that
did it take
affects
you?
The first learning game of it took us probably an hour and a half, and then the second game took like, I don't know, 30 to 45 minutes. Like it actually played really quick too.
Okay.
Maybe 45 to an hour for that second game. I don't know. But yeah, with 2 players, like, because it's just the main part of the actual game where you're playing is you move a certain amount along the track, stop there, buy whatever it is, place it on your board, and then it's the next person's turn, and you do that all the way around the track until you get back to that first spot. So depending, if everybody's just going a little bit at a time, then it can take a really long time. Yeah. But like there were times when I'd jump like 10 spaces ahead because, the next 9 spaces I can't fucking afford because holy shit, money was tight in that game.
Gotcha. Was the game over once somebody reached the end or once everybody reached
Once
it?
everybody.
Okay.
So it went like 3
You could be
times
like,
around.
I'm winning right now, and I'm all the way at it.
No. No. Yeah, in fact, like if you got to the end before everybody else, then you were just passed until everybody caught up to you.
Right, yeah.
And yeah.
It looks like it's pretty new.
Yes.
Probably within the last month, 2 weeks.
It's an Essen release, so last couple months. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I want to play it some more.
Cool.
So, well, that kind of wraps up most of the banter stuff.
Indeed.
Unless, Jeff, do you have a bloody minute for us today?
I sure do. As I played Frank in our Blood Bowl 2 league, finishing mere minutes before I actually headed over here to record. So between work and recording, which was like, we needed to play today. We've been trying to play for the last week online and just couldn't line things up. I was snowboarding and he was busy and his mother-in-law was in town and all that fun stuff. Anyway, it was Lizardmen versus Pro Elves. So this is kind of like the base elf team, not dark elves, not high elves, not wood elves, but just elves. They're pretty equivalent to humans in movement and armor. They're pretty average elf team. I was playing Lizardmen. I had a Saurus die last game and a miss next game Saurus. So I had 2 Journeyman Skinks and 4 Saurus. Sauri, I don't know. I received the ball, but then he immediately started out bashing a Lizardman team because I had a lot of Skinks and not a lot of Saurus. Mm-hmm. Saurus was strength 4. Everyone on his team strength 3, but he was knocking all of my guys down over and over again. And then he proceeded to score, which sucked for me, as he KO'd one of my Saurus. So I only had 3 Saurus for the rest of the game.
Ouch.
Keep in mind, I started this team with 6 two games ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm at half my Saurus. Still have all my Skinks in the game. One got KO'd, came back in. I was able to KO one of his just base elf linemen, do some skinky bullshit, stunty bullshit, I guess is a good word for it. Because with stunty, you can dodge on a 3+ no matter what, no matter how many tackle zones and stuff there are. I was rolling real bad again. I kept rolling double skulls and double both downs. Not much you can do against that except try and re-roll it. But my Skinks finally picked up the ball. Was able to hand off and run it down the field, which his elves were unfortunately not able to catch. So I was able to score on my turn 8 of the first half, starting the second half as 1-1. In the second half, I received the ball, got a quick snap, which let me move everyone 1 space. My Saurus that got knocked out in like the beginning of the first half, had 2 tries to come back in, failed both of them. I had a babe, so I got a +1 to these rolls. So that Saurus was out for the rest of the game. I only had 3. His kick went long, went all the way to my end zone. The quick snap happens where I can move everyone 1 space. Then the ball bounces. The ball bounced out of bounds, giving a touchback, letting me hand it to a Saurus who was technically on his half of the field after the quick snap. So Saurus have strength 4, armor 9, but only agility 1. So they need a 6 pretty much to do anything. So just handing them the ball for free is amazing. And since elf teams are kind of average strength 3, he was, unfortunately for him, unable to break my Saurus down and get the ball loose from him at any point. He was throwing 2-die uphill blocks against him, and then I sort of parked him right at the end of the field and kind of bashed him in a little bit with my other 2 Saurus. He was bashing in my skinks real good. They're only strength 2. Ended up getting 2 casualties and 3 KOs by the end of that half. Scored on my 16, giving him 1 turn to try and score. I put my loner skinks on the line for him to bash into the ground. Downside is one of my journeyman loner skinks got a casualty, so those star player points are wasted because I'm not going to be hiring that skink. And then the other skink loner journeyman got my MVP. Because in Blood Bowl 2, it's just random on the roster.
Oh,
you can't select MVP in Blood Bowl 2. I really wish they would change that. But at the end,
wasn't that in the new version of Blood Bowl?
That is in the new version, but in the new Blood Bowl 2 Legendary Edition, they were supposed to update to these rules, but the selection MVP is just not in there. But the game ended 2-1 win for the Lizardmen because Saurus touchback ball carriers are fucking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I got max winnings. I didn't realize at the beginning of the game I got fame +2. That's why I was winning all the rerolls.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I rolled a 6 +2 +2 for winning, and then I got 100K winnings on this game.
Cool.
Which is nuts. I need it because I have to rebuy a fucking dead Saurus. So and an apothecary. Apothecary sure would be nice by fucking game 4. But yeah, that's hot off the presses. Mere hours ago, Blood Bowl 2.
Nice.
I didn't take any major casualties, and neither did he.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll have 5 Saurus, maybe 6. Maybe I'll be up at 6. I want an apothecary. I need an apothecary. Skinks get knocked out real hard, and having an apothecary is pretty mandatory for Lizardmen. Downside is I just haven't been rebuying fucking guys that keep dying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because Blood Bowl 2 is bullshit.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thank you for the Bloody Minute update, Jeff.
And then tomorrow, the last game of regular season in our Kill League.
Oh shit!
So maybe
almost playoffs.
Almost playoffs.
You're a lock for playoffs at this point, right?
I think I'm in one of those kind of like, if this happens, so blah 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 blah. But right now I'm in second, so, and I don't think I'm going to lose my next game. So I think I'll be getting in playoffs.
Okay.
I think it's only like top 3 teams from each bracket though. So yeah.
Speaking of playoffs, really quickly, little NFL update. The Broncos won on Thursday, so they won 2 games in 5 days, conveniently waiting until after they were eliminated from playoff contention to start winning games. So that sucks. We're just tanking now. We're wrecking our draft pick. But
just be real middle of the road.
Yeah. I did see, however, that after Sunday's games, the Jacksonville Jaguars have, for the first time since 2007, locked a playoff position. The Jaguars are going to the playoffs.
Wow.
And the Broncos
are not.
Yep. There you go.
It's been a rough year as a Broncos fan. So,
Rough.
yeah, just wanted a quick update on that. But we can now move on to news and Kickstarters.
Indeed, news or usually Kickstarters. First up on this wonderfully not busy news week, Simon and Eric Lang have a new game coming, Victorian Masterminds.
Yeah. So in this game, the players, it's for 2 to 4 players. You take on the role of criminal masterminds trying to complete your like grand evil construction thing.
It's steampunk, we should say.
Yep.
I mean, Victorian, and it's a board game. Just assume steampunk is involved in some fashion.
Yep.
Contraption, they say. Your mastermind contraption.
Because Sherlock Holmes is no longer there.
Yep. So it takes place in Victorian London after Sherlock's gone. The Secret Service is still pursuing you, and the game will end when either one of the masterminds completes their contraption, or when the Secret Service like reaches a point where they crack down on all the villainy. But yeah, I mean, Eric Lang and Antoine Bauza, those are 2 heavyweight designers right there.
Yeah, and I like the art, the couple pieces of art that they have so far.
Yeah, I normally don't really like steampunk stuff, but I do kind of like the little bit of art they got here for this.
Yeah, looks nice. No real components or anything yet, so it's kind of just an early announcement. But
yeah, they do say that it's definitely asymmetrical. Each of the criminal masterminds has different abilities and different henchmen that do different things depending on where they send them around the city, like collecting materials, destroying buildings, and completing missions. But no real information on how you do those things. So yeah, keep an eye out for it for sometime in 2018.
Kickstarter, you think?
No, it's just released.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Yeah.
The apocalypse is
Yeah.
going to happen in 2018.
A lot of cool mini games just come out. You know that,
And,
right?
and this one, it's announced by Space Cowboys, but Simon is going to be publishing it.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's
but Eric, yeah.
a little bit different kind
Eric
of
Lang
situation.
game that's not going to Kickstarter.
Correct.
Dear God.
Dear God.
Next up on news, AEG has basically blown open what they're doing in 2018.
Yep.
Bunch of new releases coming from them. My specific favorite, of course, will be the Mystic Veil expansion, which is basically a big box plus some cards to fit all of the other expansions into.
Yep. And that's going to be called Conclave.
Yes.
They also have Istanbul, the dice game. So if you're a big fan of Istanbul and you're a big fan of taking a good game and making it into a crappy dice game,
Color me interested.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be a crappy dice game. I just feel like most of the time those dice games aren't nearly as good. Like the one exception that always comes to mind is Bang the Dice game.
What about Roll for the Galaxy?
I still prefer Race. Like
Do
I
you think it's a
Roll's
crappy game?
Good. Roll's good, but Roll's also it's not Race for the Galaxy the dice game. Like I mean, it could have been called that, but okay. So 2 exceptions to the rule. They have another one coming out called Space Base, which the minimalist description is roll 2d6 to build the ultimate space base. It
Seems like a simple game.
Yeah, the cover art for it reminds me a lot of Space Cadets.
Yeah.
Similar font,
Yes, it
similar art
does, yeah.
style, so I think it's in that same line. They have another Smash Up expansion coming out called That 70s expansion, and The Captain is Dead is getting a new episode called Lockdown. And they have dates and things for a lot of these. Both Conclave and Space Base are March/April 2018. Captain is Dead expansion is May 2018. They don't have any information about the 70s expansion. And then there's a Lost Atlantis due out in Q4.
Yeah, real
That's
late
a
next year.
3X game under the sea. So
Did we talk about Edge of Darkness?
no. Oh no, I missed that one.
Yeah, Edge of Darkness is
Another card craft.
Yeah, another card crafting game coming out sometime in 2018. Not real much there, except it's a card crafting and city controlling game.
Yeah. In other release news, Rio Grande Games announced a Q1 release of Broadhorns Early Trade on the Mississippi, which, according to this BGG thing here, designer Jim Harmon was showing to publishers as far back as Origins 2013. So 5 years later, it's finally getting published. But I think it looks pretty good. It's a 2 to 4 player game that takes 60 to 90 minutes and is about trading and financing expeditions up and down the Mississippi. Color me interested. That's the kind of theme I like. I was expecting
That
more of
sounds-
a reaction out of Zach.
I mean,
I mean, that sounds like something that you'd like.
we're so dead inside to your tastes.
Yeah.
that, yeah. And that's pretty much it for news.
Real
I'm
light,
sure.
light on the news.
Yeah. It's the end of year. Everyone's just kind of like, this is our, fiscal year 2018 announcements and
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, one thing we haven't mentioned that's been going on for roughly 18 days.
Oh, yeah.
The BGG support drive is ongoing. There's still 13 days, 2 hours, and 19 minutes to go pledge and support BGG. For those of you who use it, it is blissfully, wonderfully,
Blissfully?
blissfully. Nah, man. It's very refreshingly ad-free or minimal ads, not ad-free. There's like little banner ads and stuff, but it's not.
Oh, for Board Game Geek?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know what you were using the context.
It's wonderfully ad-free or minimal ads. It's not ridiculously covered in ads all the time. And a lot of that is due to the support of people who supported during the pledge drive.
Did you do this last year?
I did do this last year.
Because he gave us a bunch of gold to make our badges and
Yeah,
stuff.
I wasn't sure if there was like a twice a year thing or not. So
No,
okay.
it's every December. This year it looks like they're doing it a little bit different. Last year, like it was based on the amount that was getting pledged. The Geek Gold reward kept going up and up and up and up.
Right.
This time it's just a flat 1,000 Geek Gold bonus for everybody who does $15 or more.
Okay.
So I'm definitely going to be with my next paycheck throwing $15 over to BGG because I appreciate what they do and I appreciate what they provide for the hobby.
Indeed.
Even if some of their website desperately needs updated.
Well,
Modernized.
especially because like half of it gets updated. Like the forums are like halfway updated, and then you click on a link and it's like, let's just go back to our previous spot. You know?
Yeah. Just random links will take you 10 years back in internet history.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a time machine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're interested in supporting BGG, go check that out.
Indeed. That's it for news, which leads to Kickstarters. First up on Kickstarters is Santa Chaos, magnetic modular miniatures for fantasy football, aka Blood Bowl. This one is just barely funded, $3,549 of its $3,528 goal. It's only got about 30 backers and about 2 weeks left to go. You can pledge this one for about $81. Zach sent this to me, and I immediately was like, "This is amazing." So it's all kind of it's all chaos team themed, but also Christmas themed. So the Minotaur is actually a giant Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The Chaos Warriors are like, I don't know, horror claws. And like your beastmen are like elf dressed satyrs. I do have to say the art style on them is different, but I really like it. The team looks this team would stand out on.
Oh, that's
the
very
board.
true. It's like when I watched you play that guy that had a bunch of pumpkins everywhere.
Mhm.
I was like, what is going on here?
It also has a Chaos Santa themed pitch that you can get. It's kind of in the snow and all nice and bloody. One of my favorite things on the pitch is it has the ball bounce like on the pitch and not on the sidelines or anything. One of the other cool things is all of these models are magnetic, and since Chaos teams can mutate, you can actually attach like tentacles or prehensile tail or extra arms and stuff like that, or claw to the miniatures with these magnets, so they can grow and the model will actually change based on what skills and stuff they have.
Now that is just the warriors and the
Minotaur.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would assume satyrs can't mutate.
Yeah. Beastmen can't get mutations. They can on like doubles, I think. But there are actually add-ons that you can do for like 2 heads, additional arms, claw, stuff like that for the satyrs that are modeled on them but are not magnetic.
One of them's just like big claw or big hand.
Yes. I should say all of that fancy extra stuff does bump it up to a pledge of about $163. But that gets you that gets you the pitch and the mutation kits and Chaos Warriors, and there's a bone saw sort of doctor looking dude that is AKA like, use it for a chainsaw. There is dice on there that is all Christmassy themed. Like the push is a Christmas tree.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a goofy Christmas theme, so I could see this working even for people that don't love the Christmas theme to it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I really do like that. It doesn't look like just generic football stuff.
No,
But
it's
they had a goal, an idea, and they've
executed.
yes.
Yeah.
But as all fancy specialty teams in Blood Bowl, it gets pretty pricey for all the fancy stuff.
Yeah, that's why it's at
Indeed.
over $3,000 with just 30 people.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Santa Chaos.
Right on.
Next up is Mythic Arcana. Almost funded 17,000 of its 20,000 goal, 439 backers, but just a bit over a week left to pledge. There is only one pledge level for $32.
Yeah. So first thing about Mythic Arcana is they have right there in the beginning of the Kickstarter that it's a limited run game only on Kickstarter. So if this is a game that is interesting to you, you're only going to get it through Kickstarter. But it is kind of a dice rolling set collection game for 2 to 4 players. And the basic goal of the game is that you're trying to collect a god in each of 5 different domains: heavens, life, wisdom, war, and death. And the gods are made up of gods from a wide variety of mythologies. Like looking here, there's Ares, Thor, Isis, Kali, Fujin, Anubis, Athena, Freya. Like, so they're
Norse, Eastern, Indian, Egyptian.
Greek, Roman.
Yep.
They're pulling from all over the place.
And
And
I really like that art too.
The art looks awesome.
And that was what I was going to say next, is that the art style for all of these different gods and goddesses is really cool.
And these are giant tarot size cards.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
They're all unique. 70 plus unique gods in this game.
And then it comes also with 12 dice in 4 different player colors. So each player will have their own unique dice, just color, not actual dice. They're D6s. But the gameplay is really simple. You display a number of deity cards on the table, and then everybody rolls. And then based on your roll, that allows you to determine who you summon, basically kind of draft or pull out of the center there to join your side. And then gods have different abilities. Like Athena, she has the ability Presence. As long as she's in your little tableau, add 1 to your total worship value. So whatever you roll for all 4 of your die, she adds 1 to that total. So you get a little bit of a boost there. Whereas Fujin has a feat where you can exhaust him to draw a number of god cards equal to the current amount on offer. Replace the current set of gods with the new set. So he just wipes the board and puts new ones out.
He's got a wind. He just blows them away.
Yeah.
They're just cards.
super easy to do.
But yeah, they claim that it plays in
15 to 25 minutes.
Yeah. So nice, quick little dice game, drafting cards. And
Yeah. I guess the game's been designed since 2014, but the amount of artwork needed for it, they've been spending their time on really trying to get all of that done. I mean, if you're drawing 70 plus, gods in this kind of quality, that's going to take some time.
It's also kind of interesting because this is a limited edition, like just through Kickstarter. They are limiting backers to 2 games per pledge. So you can't just go super nuts.
Yeah. But I mean, feel free to buy 2.
Yeah.
Because it looks good.
It does.
This game looks real good. Even if I don't play it. I just want to look at the cards.
Right?
Yeah. That's Mythic Arcana. You got about a little over a week, so get to it.
Go check it out.
Last up on Kickstarter is our $100 mini game of the week, Chronicle X. Shocker, well funded, 153,000 of its $40,000 goal, over 1,500 backers, and a little over 2 weeks left to pledge. There is only one pledge level for this one, which is $99. But don't forget, there's all a fuckload of add-ons and all that fun
I
stuff.
was going to say it fell just short of the $100 game of the week.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, it also has like $15, $20 shipping. So
Shipping isn't included.
it is not. So this is a 1 to 7 player tactical board game with miniatures. Basically, in the
Like a
theme storyline of the game, aliens came to Earth. They were
Friendly.
pretended to be friendly, and then super backstabbed us. and are now trying to take over the world.
It's sort of set in sci-fi retro 80s.
Yep. Definitely has for me a heavy XCOM vibe. The main alien bad guys are the Greys,
Mhm.
and they look like your typical like big oversized head, big eyes, like typical alien kind of drawing.
But there is more.
But they have a whole bunch of other like races that they've subjugated in the past, which for those of you familiar with the XCOM mythos, totally what happened there too.
Yeah.
But one of the races that they have here, they call them the Divoli, and they've got a very xenomorph HR Geiger kind of vibe to them, I think.
Yeah, very Ripper-esque. But it is not a secret, base. I mean, you have a secret base that you can build on and it is campaign-based as well, this game.
Yeah, you can do single missions or campaign.
But you're not like, all of your heroes in the game aren't really like just special agent dudes with guns. They're all super interesting, like guy in suit, guy in power suit.
Yeah.
They're more individual than just kind of like spec ops team with guns.
Yes. Like the main 6 characters from the base game are Chief Petty Officer Jack Clemson, who's like a big sniper standing on like a stack of tires. Captain Jordan Intersect Bryce, who's got big mech arms.
He's Jax.
Yeah, yes. Colonel Atticus Blackwood, who's like a dude in a suit with a big fucking pistol gun. Dr. Yukari Fujikawa, who is a girl with a big sword. Macon Mudslide Grizzler, who's dude in a mech suit.
Think StarCraft Marine.
Definitely.
Yep.
And then Minerva Watts, which is another girl with a big sword.
Yeah, some sword action.
Yeah.
But there are different like classes in the game. There's like tanks and medics and assault dudes and yeah. I thought one of the coolest things in this game were the hero dials. So you have different stats for how your heroes, do. I mean, you have your like hero card, but then you have a hero dial depending on how much damage you're taking. Think Tzolk'in, but as you turn down the dial, all of the things behind them change. So there's 3 little dials behind the card that will kind of turn down as you turn the left side of the dial. Kind of interlocks in there.
Yeah, so like when you get hit, you turn down the dial to like decrease your health, and that also will decrease your like attack ranges and like your damage. Like you're getting weaker the more hurt you get.
The Mythic Battles Pantheon sort of thing,
which I have not played yet.
Yeah.
Does it have a?
They don't have a cool dial thing. It's just a thing that slides down.
Oh, okay.
It's got custom combat dice that look cool. Hopefully, the final product look as cool as these,
and hopefully they work as well as like normal die, because they've got a lot of weird like etching and stuff in them that looks a little odd.
Yeah, but they look nice. But you can like build up your own base and like over the campaign and add more rooms. Very XCOM-y. One of my favorite things that they're doing, foam insert in each box, like laser cut. Like all of the minis have storage that comes in the box.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just like a plastic tray or whatever, like Zombicide.
Yeah, that was one of the stretch goals that they hit early on, and I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Also, the colossal miniatures that they're doing as stretch goals in this.
Yeah, some of them
super
are
cool.
huge.
Yeah.
Like the Annihilator, they don't tell you how big it is, but it's a double XL model. Whereas like one of the other models they mentioned is like 80 millimeters, which is just nuts. That's huge.
Yes.
And it's not like a thin one. Like it's a big, thick mini.
It's a chunk of miniature. Of course, there is a bunch of other stuff that's add-ons. $20 here, $20 there, that add a bunch of new models into the game. They look cool.
Yeah, the mini quality is really fantastic.
Yeah.
Looking at most of them here, and they all of this is being manufactured, designed, produced, everything in Europe. So there's not the normal like worries about Chinese New Year delaying production or shipping, or shipping carriers getting stuck in the ocean waiting for some American dock workers strike to resolve or something like that.
Yeah.
But the minis themselves, like the level of detail they have on these, like, I mean, these ones, like, the bases have detail. Like, the Diwali Ridge Beast, that 80mm one, is standing on, like, a carcass of something else. Like, the one guy I mentioned earlier, like, he's standing on a stack of tires. Like, there's terrain and detail on the base of the minis, even.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, some of the ones they show through here that are, like, painted, holy crap, they look real good painted.
Yeah, these are ones you would definitely paint.
Yeah.
Or hire someone to paint. The board itself is it's like Zombicide. It's just your standard square base.
Yeah, they
boards.
come with 6 boards that are double-sided, and you use 4 boards to play a mission.
Mm-hmm. But you'll have specific cover icons, entry icons, like searchable areas and stuff like that on the boards. So it can change up depending on the scenario.
Yep. I looked into their previous like big Kickstarter like this. Like some of the add-ons you can get are based off of their previous one, Vanguard of War. And it's actually delivering right now, and that's when their Kickstarter said. So their last Kickstarter was delivered on time. So,
Nice.
No, and it's another one that's similar to this, big, huge minis, battle war type game. So.
1,800 backers, hundreds of $1,000s in pledges.
Yeah, and that one succeeded. So
yeah,
no reason to think they won't do the same with this one,
which is nice.
Yeah,
it's a nice change up in the Kickstarter.
Yeah,
fulfilling on time.
Right.
These giant mini games, I should say. So yeah, that's Chronicles X.
Go check it out if you want a cool mini game.
Yeah, that I don't have money for.
Indeed. Same here.
Yeah. That's it for Kickstarters.
That is it.
Kickstarters is over.
So that wraps up news and Kickstarter. Jeff, I think we had a couple emails, didn't we?
We had a couple emails at milehighgameguys.com if you would like to email us. First up is from Matt, titled, "We Need You, Zach."
No, I think it's supposed to be you, Jeff.
Well, it says Zach, so I'm reading the title. This is Corporal Feather requesting that we get you, Zach, to join our cause. We have the numbers, we have the will, we have the size, but we don't have opposable thumbs. Nor your brilliant strategic mind that you're squandering in Blood Bowl.
Yeah,
see, I'm Jeff. I am Jeff. The other person is Zach.
Yes.
Unless he's just referring to that one time Zach played Blood Bowl
and won a trophy.
and won a trophy.
Right. So your brilliant strategic mind that won a trophy at Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Matt. I don't know whether or not you actually meant Zach or Jeff, but I'm going to go with what you said.
Yeah.
And I'm backing you up on that. So, Zach, you're wasting your brilliant mind.
Absolutely.
On minor Blood Bowl trophies.
It's a minor casualty trophy. That's...
Yeah. You don't just stumble into that, Adrian.
Join the Emu Army as we retaliate against those darn Southern Australian gents. It's not going to be shrimp on the Barbie, only soon with your help. See you on the front line soon. Followed by a picture of a lot of emus. That's a lot.
2 pictures of a lot of emus.
And then clearly...
Too many. I'm going to say too many emus.
Yeah. And then another one of a World War I trench scene with emus on the edge of the ridge.
Well, I know Andrew did mention in his email the other day something about the Great Emu War that Australia had. So
I want to say they went and tried to kill a bunch and then killed nothing. I think is what happened.
Sounds about right.
With like machine guns in the woods and just would like emu and just would fucking unload on the bushes and literally hit nothing. I don't remember if it was emus or not, but yeah, that looks right to me.
Yeah. So Zach, go off and join the Emu Rebellion.
Yeah.
We don't need you here. Go enjoy Australia.
No.
In fact,
I heard they have spiders there.
There are spiders.
No. You've seen that comment. Everything in Australia wants to kill you. No.
Yeah. Everything will kill you.
Yeah.
Except for not badgers, possums. Australian possums are fucking adorable.
It's because they're possums, not opossums.
America definitely, like, in the creation of the universe, somehow there's a mix-up, and America got Australia's possums, and Australia got America's possums.
Well, one is a possum, and one is an opossum. We got the opossum that we just call possum.
I don't think there's any difference, really.
Oh, one just looks perpetually angry.
Well, yeah, the American version.
One is a giant, stinky rat-like creature. and the other is like a little cute furry animal.
Both are marsupials.
Yes, but one is O and one is not.
Like, oh shit, we should probably go.
Oh shit, there's that.
Oh shit, that possum is terrifying.
Yep.
Oh, but yeah, Australian possums are adorable.
Totes adorbs.
North American opossums are hideous hell beasts.
Trash monsters.
Instead of trash pandas, they're just trash monsters.
Yeah, they're
Raccoons are trash pandas, and they're
Exactly.
amazing
Yeah.
because they have grabby hands.
These do too, but
Have you seen the gif of the raccoon having cotton candy in his hand and he goes to wash it and then it
Yes.
disappears?
Uh-huh.
It is hilarious
Yeah.
because of how tragic it is.
He's like, what happened to my cotton?
Yeah, he goes to wash it and then disappears and he's like reaching in the water. He's like, where is it? Where is it?
Oh, I know what I'm watching when we're done recording.
Uh-huh.
All right, next email.
Next email. This one comes from Nolan, whatever your name is. Titled Patreon Bullshit. Hello, guys. I wanted to let you know that I just shut down my Patreon. I'm one of the patrons you don't mock publicly, as I was at the higher level to try and get in games with you. I am sure you know this, but I wanted to say it to be clear that this has nothing to do with you or your show. You guys still rock, and I will be resuming my direct support for you as soon as I don't have to use Patreon to do it. Even if Patreon reverses their foolish policy, which they did, I am not going to use their service. My hope is that that this event acts as a Russian warning shot to all of the similar services. I'm not sure what a Russian warning shot is.
I don't know
I assume
either.
that's just you shoot the other person.
God.
I am going to assume that's what that is.
Or you shoot yourself
possibly.
in the foot, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. This is what Patreon seems to have done.
Yeah, we'll look it up. Patreon failing as a result of their greed would be a good warning to the rest. Unfortunately, humans are creatures that make goldfish look brilliant, so they will probably be just fine. Once you have your plan B in place, be sure to mention it on the air, and I'll jump right back in. And to end this on a funny note, pronounce the following. It is the alphabet, A through Z.
As a word.
As a word. And no. No, that's not going to happen. Anyone else want to give it a try?
I don't know.
Close enough. Hint, Google old Sesame Street songs for how to actually say it.
Just want to let you know, on howtopronounce.com, this is rated a 4 out of 5 for difficulty.
All right. And it says Noland at the end, so I assume it's Noland.
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
All right, here comes
Holding.
the pronunciation. One more time?
Closer to the mic.
And
Just rolls off the tongue.
third time for good measure, right up in the mic. Yeah, that's a thing. So,
Good job, Jeff.
congratulations. And thanks for the email, Nolan.
Yes.
We will have an alternative up to Patreon sometime here in the near future. I'm really hoping Kickstarter Drip launches sometime soon because I'd like to use them. Otherwise, maybe, aside from the fact that Kickstarter Drip is a terrible name.
It is. I just want to let you know, the top 2 related searches for this is how do you say that in Spanish, and then how do you say that in Chinese?
Oh dear. But yeah, so we will definitely let everyone know when we have a different option for support rather than Patreon. And yeah, thanks for the emails.
And that's it for emails. Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
That is temporarily it for emails,
Yes.
possibly, because we are now going to pick a winner live on air for the Lisboa giveaway. I say live on air because we're doing this live now as we record.
Live to tape.
Live to tape, I guess. Yeah, that's live to tape. So
You were practicing this earlier.
yes. Nope. Dropping dice already.
Yep.
All right, and It's 63, which let me click over onto my other tab. Sorry, I was super well prepared for this, everyone. Number 63 is Simon.
Congratulations.
Simon J.
Congratulations.
Who won, looks like...
He won Lisboa.
Well, yes, he won a copy of Lisboa, but he won via, looks like, so Simon entered all 3 ways, but it was your email, Simon, that technically won.
Is this the first time emails have been the winner of our contest? I think it's been Twitter before, right?
Twitter has definitely been at least one. I think a BGG was one. I think this might be the first time an email has won.
Goddamn right.
But I'm not sure. We've also
You're
done
finally
other weird
catching up to the
things.
rest of us.
Yeah.
And so, give Jeff a second here to pull up that award-winning email.
Award-winning, kind of long email.
Yeah. But so here goes. And congratulations, Simon, as we start this.
Indeed. This email is from Simon. Most memorable board game disaster, the Australian version. Hi, Adrian, Zach, Jeff, and the rest of the MHGG extended family. Just a quick bit of background about myself. I'm one of the many hordes of Australian listeners and fans of your podcast. Apparently, Australia's like number 2 for us.
Yes.
Since like August.
Yeah. I recently got back into the board gaming hobby after a 5-year hiatus. Damn you, real life. And boy, has the hobby exploded and grown since then. It truly is the golden age of gaming. I live in Melbourne, Australia, and I first became aware of your podcast when browsing our board games, and someone mentioned you in a board game podcast thread. I wish I could thank that person because since that time, you've quickly become my favorite podcast, and I've been an avid listener since episode 34 in February of this year. Keep up the great work. I visited some friends in Albuquerque, New Mexico back in October, November of 2015. And during my time there, we had some excellent adventures, including a trip to Arlington, Texas to see my Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Cowboys in a thrilling overtime game that we won 33-27. Fuck the Cowboys. F exclamation point means fuck. I'm just going to say fuck because we can say fuck.
Yeah.
And also because that's the correct response. Fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah. It was certainly a thrilling experience for my first live NFL game and a highlight of my trip. So I certainly don't mind when the NFL and the Denver Broncos are discussed. We did actually manage to do a road trip out to Denver, stopping at Pikes Peak to do the COG Railway, of course, and ended up staying a night. But being unfamiliar with the area, all we did was go to Cherry Cricket, where I had the best burger of my life, and explore the Denver Zoo. I love me some red pandas. Me too.
Both good things. Cherry Cricket does have some really good burgers.
I've never,
and the Denver Zoo's pretty
never
awesome.
been there. Cherry Cricket?
Yeah.
It's in Cherry Creek.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like right down by the Cherry Creek Mall.
All right. I burned some calories snowboarding, so now I can eat a giant burger that's, bad for me.
There you go.
There you go.
You asked for tales of board game disasters. Thankfully, I don't have many except for one very memorable incident. I was visiting some friends in Tasmania about 3 months ago, and we were about an hour into a game of Eldritch Horror. Taking a break, I made the mistake of getting a can of Pepsi, as I hadn't had a Pepsi for about 10 years. Coke is by far the biggest soft drink in Australia, and I think most of the world. We sat back down, eager to resume our game, and made the mistake of placing our open soft drink cans right on the table next to the map of the world. Play continued as we battled the denizens of the Cthulhu mythos, and I casually reached over to move my character and knocked my can over. Whoops. The black tidal wave of sugar rushed over the glossy cardboard map, eager to cover as much of the globe as possible. Frozen, I looked at my friend, owner of the game, sitting opposite, who I expected to explode with rage at seeing his board game get soaked in cruel liquid, or see him burst into tears as if I had someone damaged one of my precious games. But he sat there with a blank expression on his face for mere moments before our quick-thinking friend dashed to get paper towels, which freed me from my paralyzed state. Paralyzed? Paralyzed is probably a better word.
Paralyzed?
Paralysis. Yeah, that's kind of a combination word there.
I don't know.
I'm going to say paralyzed.
You could say your paralysis state. Like, that's more in the moment.
Freed me from my paralyzed state
There you go.
as I quickly grabbed the offending can and tried to move as many cardboard standees and pieces out of harm's way. I felt so guilty, as I'm the type of person who likes to look after their games, sleeving and protecting them from harm, and I thought I'd made a mortal enemy that day, but thankfully my friend was true and loyal and forgave me of my errant ways. Never again shall I consume a Pepsi while gaming away. I mean, it's fine. Just put it somewhere else.
And I'm pretty sure whatever Elder God you were fighting in that game, I'm pretty sure he's the one that made that knockover.
That's true.
Yeah, he sensed you were beginning to defeat him, and he reached out, from beyond the void, the veil.
He wanted to cover the globe in some way. It was just like, well, if I can't do it through that, I'll do it through Pepsi.
Yeah.
Good old corn syrup.
Yeah. Well, they might use real sugar in Australia,
but it was here.
Oh,
wasn't it?
No, it was in Tasmania.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. They might have legit shit down there.
They might have Mexican Coke.
Thank you for contributing to my enjoyment of the hobby and educating me on the many exciting games out there. I would love to play a few games with you if I ever make it back out to the States again. Cheers, Aussie board gaming addict, Ale. Bye. P.S. I loved your discussion on the recent podcast about your experiences with the mega game Watch the Skies. It was a really interesting discussion on a topic that doesn't get covered a lot. This is true. I didn't see much out there. PPS, I've also entered the current competition by finally getting around to posting in the guild thread. Better late than never. More of a lurker than a poster. Ditto here. And I created a Twitter account with the sole purpose of entering the Lisboa competition because I want that sweet blue board so much. And it's pronounced Ale.
Well, you got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you will get it at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think there with the cheers, Jeff, he was doing your thing of I'm Aussie board gaming addict.
Oh,
LA.
I got it now.
Yeah. Well,
You should be I'm Slow Jeff.
I'm dumb.
Yeah.
well, congratulations.
Mhm.
Yeah, we will get with you and work out the shipping and everything to try and get this game from us here in Denver to you in Australia, and hopefully shipping doesn't murder all of us in the process.
And remember, it'll be after Christmas because we looked we looked at some of the prices now, we're no.
Definitely wait till the shipping season dies down here. So, like we mentioned, Simon also entered through a couple other ways, and we've got those pulled up too, because why not? You won, so we're gonna read all your stuff. The Twitter entry for Simon or Ale at MH Game Guys. Hope I am doing this right. Discussion topics. Thoughts on the future of the board gaming industry. Biggest game changers. Themes you'd like to see. Mechanics that need more love. Best way to run and develop a regular gaming group. Hashtag MHGG Tom Hanks. Hashtag MHGG Thanks. Ale BGG.
3 people did hashtag MHGG Tom Hanks, and I really appreciated it.
Yeah, that was like a highlight for Zach.
Yes, it was. So the Board Game Geek thread goes something like this.
The last entry on the BGG thread.
Yes, it was. Got an under the wire. If the wire was
4 days
4
ago.
days ago. Howdy, Mile High Game Guys. Firstly, thank you for leaving this giveaway open to internationals, as I'm one of many Australian fans, and we certainly appreciate the opportunity to have something shipped from the other side of the world again.
Yeah. I know Australians just super love how shipping to Australia works.
Yeah.
I'm from Melbourne, which is the second largest city in Australia with a population of 4.7 million. And,
Jesus.
And geographically, it's pretty spread out with a greater area of about 3,858 square miles. So naturally, there are a lot of different gaming groups spread out all over the place, and the board gaming community is quite active in Melbourne. There's usually at least a few major conventions each year. Unfortunately, the most recent convention, MeepleCon, was canceled due to flooding. I hope there also wasn't a fire and an earthquake.
Yeah.
But most of the regular gaming happens at either hosted events, at FLGSs, or at cafes/restaurants, or very occasionally bars. Sorry, no big gaming breweries here. A lot of the events here aren't regular weekly events, but rather 1 to 2 times a month, which usually means people attend multiple different events to get their gaming fix. I first started gaming by attending various events advertised on meetup.com, but after I made connections, I now have a small circle of extended friends of about 8 to 14 people and rarely go to gaming events. I prefer to game in small social settings of about 4 to 5 people, and gaming at people's houses as I find the environment a little bit more relaxing. Occasionally, I fly back to Tasmania, where I game with a small group of childhood friends who have slowly gotten into the board gaming hobby. They used to exclusively play co-op games, not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's a whole lot more out there in our big world. And we have epically long gaming sessions of a few days in a row where we try and cram as much gaming bliss as possible, similar to LAN parties in our youth. Thanks for the podcast and the giveaway, and it's nice to hear about the wider board gaming community. Cheers.
This kind of blew my mind, and so I had to go look this up. So first of all, I didn't realize that Melbourne was like 4 million people, which is crazy. Anyway, back to the things at hand. Congratulations on winning the game. Like I said, we'll be in touch to work out some shipping and get that game to you. Congratulations. Yeah, that wraps everything up, I think. If you would like to get a hold of us, you can email us.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can tweet us. I tweet under at MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
And I am Jeff_MHGG.
You can also find us on Board Game Geek, guild number 2731, where Zach does awesome little weekly posts, like the one coming up for this week's episode, where we are going to talk about trick-taking games.
Are we?
We are going to talk about trick-taking games and why 3 of the games that we are going to talk about aren't necessarily trick-taking games.
This is going to be play a thing to get a thing games. That's what this is. That's
yeah. It was one of those things we meant for it to be trick-taking games. Then we started playing the games and researching the games and talking about the games. And a couple people pointed out to us very clearly that those aren't trick-taking games.
Well, one of them is.
One of them is.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. So tune in on Friday to check that out. And yeah, next week we are not going to have the Wednesday episode because it is Christmas and Jeff's traveling home and won't really be available for remote recording
because we normally record on Wednesday or on
Mondays, which is Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was explicitly told by my girlfriend that I am not recording on Christmas fucking day. We are spending that together. And so yeah, we couldn't really work out a good time to get the Wednesday episode recorded. And so we figured it's okay for the first time in MHGG history.
Well, for how busy the news has been lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To skip the Wednesday banter episode. However, we will have a Friday episode out for you guys to close out 2017 with our year-end wrap-up, where we'll talk about like our best game of 2017, best components, best artwork, things like that.
Yep.
And Zach will get a BGG thread up for that here pretty shortly, so that you guys can chime in on what some of your nominations or thoughts or feelings were. Maybe we'll do like include like a listener's choice award or something.
The Terraforming Mars award for best, I don't know, something.
Yeah.
Game of the Year award presented to you by Terraforming Mars.
Yeah. So that will be Friday, week and a half from the time you're listening to this now. So
indeed.
I know.
Yes.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm the last Jeff.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
What? You're killing me, Zach. He was just even more zooming in on that. Like he kept shrinking back, Jeff, but he was just zooming in as tight as he could.
Just go ahead and save that. There we go.
Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
At punchboardmedia.com.